Hey everybody, this is Will with Slices Concessions here to talk to you today about taking care of your 358 milkshake machine. Whenever you're getting ready to clean your machine, you're going to need to recover your product before you can clean out your machine. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to reach into your hopper and make sure that your breather tube is removed so it is not obstructing mix from flowing through the cylinder and out of the machine. For the time being, I'm going to set this right here. Now that we have nothing obstructing the flow of liquids through the top into the cylinder, I'm going to put the machine into wash. Our motor is now turning. Lift the handle. I'm going to recover our mix. This mix is in liquid form, but if it was frozen, it would just take a little bit longer, but it would be the same procedure. After you remove all of your frozen product from the cylinder, you should see a flow like this. Eventually your stream will start to diminish. You'll be left with a nice steady trickle. I will lower the handle and take the machine out of wash as to avoid putting any excessive wear on the blades. Then take our mix and set it aside, whether that's in your refrigerator to use as rerun or to throw away, depending on your health department situation. So now we need to rinse our machine out, now that we've removed the bulk of our product from it. I personally suggest the use of a sprayer hose, as there's usually a very thin film that builds up on the walls of the hopper. Dumping a bucket of water directly in there will mix it all up, whereas a sprayer hose can help direct it and reduce the amount of water needed to clean your hopper. And we virtually removed all of the mixed debris from our hopper using about 2 cups of water. Again, these sprayer hoses I think are just absolutely wonderful when it comes to cleaning out your hopper. Now, we're going to put a little bit more water down in there, keep rinsing it out. And the same as if we were priming the machine, we're going to allow the cylinder to fill up with water. And you'll notice it bubbling and bubbling. Now, as you might notice, our bubbles have stopped, indicating that our cylinder is full of water. Now that it's full of water, I'm going to put the machine back into wash, and I'm going to give the unremoved mix a chance to mix in. and to blend with the water before we dump it. The water coming out of our cylinder isn't quite clear, so we know that the cylinder is not 100% clean yet. So I'm going to fill it up with water one more time until our cylinder is producing a clear, steady stream of fluid as it passes through. Help our excess. Of course, wait for our cylinder to stop bubbling. Now that our cylinder is primed once again with water, cut it back into wash. Now our water is starting to come out clear, indicating that we've removed all of the mix and that our machine is ready to take into sanitation. Now that our cylinder is free of mix, we're ready to fill our cylinder up with sanitizer. In this bucket, I have roughly 2 gallons of sanitizer at 100 parts per million concentration. Please check with your local health department for the proper concentration for your jurisdiction. Again, I'm going to wait until the cylinder is primed by listening to the bubbling going on inside of the hopper. Once that bubbling is complete, then the cylinder will be fully primed with sanitizer. Thrilling, I know. Our cylinder is now full of sanitizer and ready again to run in the wash setting. We are going to run our sanitizer through for at least 30 seconds and then drain it. So let's go ahead and fast forward about 30 seconds. I'm turning the motor off so I can actually clearly speak to you. So now that our sanitizer's been running for 30 seconds, we're going to continue to run it and wash. We're going to drain it out. And then that'll be the end of our sanitizing procedure. So the key is to remove as much sanitizer as possible, but please understand that no matter how long you run it, that small blade is never going to be able to push out every single drop of water. And when you prime the machine next, that sanitizer will be pushed out. So it's really a non-issue at this point. Now we're going to discuss disassembly, because now that the inner cylinder has been sanitized and so on and so forth, you really should disassemble your machine, take all of the gaskets and things apart, and wash them in your 3-compartment sink or whatever your health department mandated situation is in your jurisdiction. Rinsing and sanitizing are wonderful things, but you really do need to get behind the seals and gaskets and things inside of the machine, and even consider brush cleaning after a certain amount of time, as well. Deep cleaning really does go further than a quick rinse. So to disassemble our machine, we're going to loosen our 4 face bolts. And I like to do that evenly so there's no distress on either side as I'm taking it off. You'll notice we have a little bit of drip right now. That's completely normal. That's some of that small bit of water that's stuck at the bottom of the cylinder that would normally be pushed out during priming. Of course, there's no particular order of operation for removing these bolts as long as you remove all of them. Now, we're going to pull our faceplate straight forward. I would take a gasket removal tool and pull this gasket up. This guy just slides right off. And your handle is a brand new gasket, so they're still kind of tight. This guy just pulls straight out. Get my gasket removal tool so I can show you the proper way to remove that seal. This is a Taylor branded gasket removal tool. Take a very close look at it, you'll see that there's a nice rounded edge, very thin and plastic, no sharp. So I'm going to start just tracing it along that edge and just give it a little bit of push. And as soon as I get a chance to lift it up, I'm just going to gently go around it. And now our gasket is free. Of course, the idea is that when you wash this in your 3-compartment sink, you want to be able to get down into the notches and grooves where bacteria may form. So every time that you wash this out, you want to make sure you take your gaskets off of not only your faceplate, but your spigot as well. Your spigot is where all of your product is held in by these 2 gaskets. So we know that there's direct food touching going on there, and there's plenty of little spaces where things could get back behind there and start to form. So we're going to take that gasket off. We've got both of our gaskets off of our spout, the gasket off of our faceplate. We're going to remove our auger, pulling it straight forward. We're going to remove our blades. We're going to set our auger aside. This is something we're going to definitely wash, as it comes in contact with food more than any other item in this machine other than the spout. And then inside in the back of the cylinder, we have our beater shaft coupling. This might be a little hard to get your hand on. It might be a little slippery. So I suggest taking a rag or a paper towel or something, putting it over your hand. Just reaching back. You get a little tug. There you go. So we're going to pop the gasket off of him. Because you can usually use your thumb. It's on pretty easily. And now, all of these items, with the exception of the face bolts, we're going to take in our back room and we're going to wash with the correct strength sanitizer, the correct type of soap. Follow all of your local health codes and everything that you need to do to operate as any other business would in your jurisdiction. And put them out to dry, and the next morning somebody will come in and reassemble them. So yeah, this has been recovering your mix, rinsing your machine, sanitizing machine, and disassembly. My name is Will. I'm with Slices Concessions, and I want to thank you for sticking through this very long, informative video. Thank you for watching.